Hello everyone. Today we will talk about research and business proposals and planning for business reports. Analyzing your audience for business reports. The planning stage for business reports, particularly those based on research, can often extend over months or even years. This extended timeline emphasizes the importance of effective communication. The AIM, Audience Idea Message, planning process is a valuable tool in this context. Initially, it's crucial to identify what decision makers want to achieve with the report. While some may have clear objectives, others may need assistance in defining them. Engaging directly with these stakeholders is essential to understanding their primary business goals, research objectives, and expectations. Understanding the needs of decision makers is fundamental. Taking the time to have meaningful discussions can clarify their overarching aims and specific insights they seek. Regular updates during the research process not only keep decision makers informed, but also enhance the relevance and usefulness of the final report. This collaborative approach increases the likelihood of producing a document that truly addresses their needs. Information gathering is a critical component of report creation and falls into two main categories: primary and secondary research. Primary research involves collecting data specifically for your study, allowing you to tailor the information to meet precise objectives. Common methods include surveys, interviews, focus groups, and case studies. While primary research is often more reliable, it can be time-consuming and expensive. In contrast, secondary research uses existing data collected by others, making it quicker but potentially less relevant to your specific context. Defining clear research objectives is key once you understand what decision makers need. These objectives should be specific, targeted, and achievable, providing a guiding framework for your research. With this clarity, you can effectively develop surveys, a common tool in primary research. The rise of online survey technologies has made it easier to collect data efficiently. However, it's essential to design surveys that are succinct, engaging, and capable of yielding reliable data. Effective surveys should typically take no longer than 5 minutes to complete. The design of survey questions is crucial. They should be simple, non-leading, exhaustive, and focused on a single idea. Questions that are easy to understand allow respondents to quickly convey their thoughts, while avoiding leading questions ensures that you receive genuine insights. Moreover, well-designed questions that cover all relevant options will produce more useful data, enabling meaningful analysis and informed decision-making. Analyzing your data. Once your surveys are completed, the next critical step is data analysis. This phase can evoke a range of emotions, from exhilaration to feeling overwhelmed by the sheer volume of data. Even small data sets can be analyzed in various ways, making it essential to approach the task with a clear strategy. To enhance your primary research skills and improve your analysis, consider the following recommendations. First, it is vital to familiarize yourself with forecasting techniques and other forms of statistical and quantitative analysis. Good analytical practices are crucial. Without them, you risk obtaining flawed results. Additionally, be mindful of your preconceived ideas and biases, as these can subtly influence how you interpret the data. Striving for an objective view will yield more accurate insights. Next, invest time in learning spreadsheet, database, and statistical software. Proficiency in tools like Excel will greatly assist you in analyzing data efficiently. Take full advantage of any training you receive in spreadsheet software and continue experimenting independently to build your comfort level. Understanding basic database design is also beneficial, as most companies store vast amounts of information in databases. This knowledge will allow you to extract relevant data to address your research questions. Moreover, consider becoming acquainted with statistical software solutions such as SPSS, SAS, or SysStat, as these tools can significantly accelerate and streamline your analyses. Collaboration is another key component in data analysis. It's likely that you will have colleagues skilled in quantitative analysis across various disciplines. Don't hesitate to seek technical assistance from them. Analyzing data in a group setting can help reduce the risk of misinterpretation, as multiple perspectives can illuminate different facets of the data. Lastly, maintain a clear focus on your primary business problem and strive to see the big picture. With the wealth of information available in company databases or survey results, it is easy to become overwhelmed and distracted by less relevant details. By concentrating on your key research objectives, you enhance your ability to extract meaningful insights without getting sidetracked by tangential issues. Communicate with charts and tables. In the realm of business, virtually all activities and goals are quantified, whether it's profit, operating expenses, or customer behavior. Effective communication using numerical data is crucial, as many management experts cite this ability as a core competency for managers. This section centers on the use of charts and tables to convey numerical information clearly and effectively. After conducting surveys or other research, you will likely have a wealth of statistics to present to decision makers. However, the challenge lies in presenting this information in a way that is both understandable and engaging. Unfortunately, many managers struggle with communicating numerical data effectively. Overloading an audience with excessive numbers can lead to confusion or boredom, as most people are not as enthusiastic about numbers as the presenter might be. Acknowledging that your audience may not share your affinity for data can significantly enhance how you present it. One common mistake among managers is failing to prioritize the primary message, which is often non-numerical. Phrases like, "Let me go through the numbers," can cause listeners to disengage. It is essential to identify the takeaway message before diving into detailed statistics. Effective charts and tables should highlight this key message, as demonstrated in the examples of charts created by Jeff for his research on the Prestigio Hotel, designed specifically to aid Andrea, the Director of Marketing. Designing effective charts. Charts can distill complex numerical information into an appealing and easily digestible format. A well-designed chart delivers a strong message and leaves a lasting impression. Given their visual appeal, charts can draw readers into a document or presentation almost instantly. The focus should always be on the chart's message. As Dana Wong, former graphics director at the Wall Street Journal, stated, "It is the content that makes graphics interesting." Properly presented, a chart allows information to flow clearly to the viewer without unnecessary distractions. Effective business communicators select only the data relationships that most strongly support their overall message. According to graphic designer Nigel Holmes, charts should do more than simply inform. They should clarify important business ideas and relationships. Moreover, charts should be immediately understandable. As Holmes explains, charts that don't explain themselves are worse than no charts. In this context, three primary chart types are most commonly used in the workplace: line charts, pie charts, and bar charts. Each serves a distinct purpose. Line charts are ideal for illustrating trends over time, such as stock prices. Pie charts effectively show parts of a whole, making them suitable for displaying market share. Bar charts, which can take various forms, are versatile for comparing different quantities. Create effective charts. When designing charts to communicate data effectively, it's essential to focus on 5 key criteria: title descriptiveness, focal points, information sufficiency, ease of processing, and the takeaway message. Each of these factors plays a critical role in ensuring your charts convey the intended message clearly and compellingly. Title descriptiveness. The chart title is often the first element that viewers examine, so it should concisely explain the primary point. Ideally, titles should be brief, generally fewer than 10 words, to facilitate quick comprehension. In some cases, a subtitle can provide additional context if the title alone is insufficient. For example, a less effective chart may simply use the title Staff and Service Ratings, which lacks clarity, while a more effective chart might have the title Improvement in Staff and Service Ratings, complemented by a subtitle like Raising Our Performance. This approach effectively highlights both the improvement and its intent. Focal points. Charts should guide the reader's attention to critical relationships and ideas. Much like a well-structured paragraph, each focal point in a chart should support the main idea. Focal points can be emphasized through various techniques, including font styles, bold or italics, colors, sizes, and call-out boxes. For instance, in an effective line chart, a call-out can pinpoint significant moments, such as the launch of a new initiative, while a bolder, thicker line can represent the primary data series, ensuring it stands out against others. Information sufficiency. Determining how much information to include in a chart is crucial. The chart should contain enough data for quick and reasonable understanding without overwhelming the reader. Clear labels and legends must clarify what is being measured and in what units. An ineffective chart may leave the scale or context ambiguous, while a more effective version will provide clear axis labels and data explanations that facilitate understanding. Ease of processing. A fundamental purpose of a chart is to convey complex information quickly. If the data presentation isn't easy to process, readers may lose interest. This necessitates a balance between information sufficiency and simplicity. Aim for a design where key ideas can be grasped in 10 to 15 seconds. An ineffective chart may require the viewer to constantly refer back to a legend or contain overly complex data presentations, while a well-designed chart will integrate labels directly with the data, enhancing rapid understanding. Takeaway message. Ultimately, the effectiveness of a chart is measured by its ability to leave a lasting impression about the key point. If the intended message is not easily recalled after some time, the chart has not served its purpose. A powerful chart communicates its essence clearly, how the information, title, focal points, and formatting come together to manifest a strong takeaway message. Engaging charts make it clear, for example, that a specific initiative has led to significant improvements compared to competitors, focusing the viewer's attention on the most relevant insights. General rules of chart formatting. While formatting may seem secondary to the message itself, it remains vital for a professional presentation. Effective formatting should be simple and highlight key data relationships without distracting from the central message. A cluttered or overly complex design can mislead or confuse the reader. Always prioritize clarity in formatting choices, removing unnecessary elements that detract from understanding. Design effective tables. While charts are excellent for quickly illustrating key ideas, tables offer a more precise way to present extensive data. The effectiveness of tables often hinges on their simplicity and organization. Evaluating the effectiveness of tables. Similar to charts, tables require clear and effective formatting. The layout can significantly influence how easily the message is understood. For example, a well-structured table should allow the reader to quickly answer questions like, does higher income correspond with increased likelihood of purchasing internet services? A less effective table might clutter data, while a more effective one presents information clearly, making it easy for the reader to draw insights. A cluttered table can overwhelm readers with excessive grid lines, poorly labeled columns, and unindented items. Conversely, a more effective table limits grid lines to essential separations, creating distinct sections for column labels and survey data while utilizing indentation to clarify category distinctions. Furthermore, using percentages instead of counts enhances comparability and clarity, allowing readers to process information more effectively. General rules of table formatting. General formatting tips significantly enhance a table's utility. Clear organization, meaningful numerical representation, and simplicity can improve how data is conveyed. Following established guidelines will ensure your tables are effective for comprehensive communication, striking the right balance between detail and clarity. By applying these principles, you can create charts and tables that effectively support your business reporting and decision-making processes. Gathering information through secondary research. While primary research is often ideal for addressing specific business problems, it can require significant time and resources. In many cases, organizations may not have access to certain types of data or the budget to conduct primary research. This is where secondary research comes into play as a more economical alternative. One of the main benefits of secondary research is that the information has already been gathered and analyzed by others, saving you time and effort. Choose a research topic. In a workplace setting, research is typically conducted at the request of managers or clients. Many organizations provide guidelines for conducting secondary research, but even within these assignments, you usually have some freedom to define the project's scope. In academic settings, you might receive a broad topic or be allowed to select your own. When you have the option to choose, consider several strategies to identify topics that are both interesting and valuable to you and others. Avoid settling on your topic too quickly. It's important to take your time when identifying a specific research topic. Ideally, dedicate 4 to 5 hours in the first 2 weeks of your project to explore your options thoroughly. This exploration phase is crucial, as it allows you to weigh your choices carefully and avoid hasty decisions that could lead to limited research. Choose your topic strategically. For school projects, consider selecting topics that align with your academic and career goals. Reflect on questions such as, what do I already know a lot about? What knowledge would enhance my understanding of my major? What aspects from recent classes do I want to delve deeper into? What skills or insights will be beneficial for my future career? What topic could I discuss confidently in a job interview? Having these considerations in mind will help guide you in selecting a topic of strategic interest. You may find it useful to create a list of 3 to 5 potential research topics and answer follow-up questions about each one, such as who the audience might be and what specific questions will guide your research. Define the scope of your project. Once you have a broad topic, it's essential to refine it into something specific and manageable. General topics can serve as starting points, but for a research project, clarity is crucial. For example, if you select social media marketing, it is too broad to address thoroughly in a paper. Consider narrowing the topic by focusing on a particular aspect, such as developing customer relationships on Pinterest. You might also limit your scope based on industry, for instance, how Home Depot develops customer relationships on Pinterest, or by time frame, such as focusing on the past year's developments. Make your research more analytical. To enhance the value and depth of your research, aim to analyze relationships and integrate related information. You might explore causation or correlation, like how corporate Pinterest pages impact purchasing decisions, or conduct comparisons, such as how competitors like Lowe's utilize Pinterest. Consider benchmarking best practices or identifying trends, such as changes in Pinterest users' expectations regarding corporate content over the past few years. Your chosen analytical approach will heavily influence your final topic. Talk to others who can help. If you're struggling to narrow your topic, communicating with others can be beneficial. Discuss your ideas with instructors, librarians, trusted classmates, or professionals in your field. These conversations can help articulate your interests more clearly and refine your topics, leading to a more focused and impactful research project. When conducting secondary research, it is crucial to rigorously assess the quality of the data you gather. One essential factor to consider is reliability, which encompasses the dependability of the data source, its currency, and its representation. Reliable data should come from a trustworthy source and be up to date, especially in rapidly changing industries where older data may lose relevance. Additionally, the data must represent a broad spectrum of perspectives to ensure comprehensive insights. Another important aspect is relevance, which pertains to how well the data applies to your specific business problem. It's essential to evaluate the context of the research to determine if it provides meaningful insights that can directly inform your decision-making. Alongside relevance, consider adaptability. The data should allow for modifications or refinements that tailor it to your unique needs. A flexible approach can yield more precise outcomes, enhancing the value of the research. Moreover, the expertise of the researchers is paramount. Assessing the qualifications and experience of those who produce the data can shed light on its credibility. Experts with relevant backgrounds are more likely to provide reliable insights specifically applicable to your industry. However, even the best data can be influenced by biases. It is important to acknowledge that biases may shape how information is presented. Therefore, a cautious approach is necessary when interpreting data, keeping in mind the motivations of the researchers. Various types of secondary research sources are available, each with its own benefits and drawbacks. White papers, for instance, offer in-depth analyses of specific issues, but they can often be biased due to the agendas of the organizations that produce them. Industry publications provide high reliability and relevance, often authored by experts. However, they often come with a hefty price tag. Many academic institutions do offer access to these valuable resources at no cost, which can be a significant advantage for students and researchers. Business periodicals, such as magazines and newspapers, deliver timely information on current business issues, and are typically authored by credible journalists. However, their articles often rely on anecdotal evidence and may lack depth compared to more rigorous studies. In contrast, scholarly journals deliver highly reliable information, as the contents are subjected to peer review. Still, the complexity and theoretical nature of these articles can sometimes limit their practical application in real-world settings. Additionally, external blogs and online resources offer a vast array of information, but their reliability can be very inconsistent. Careful assessment of the expertise of blog authors is crucial before relying on their insights. Lastly, business and management books may vary widely in usefulness, but online reviews can assist in evaluating their relevance to specific business problems. Ultimately, selecting secondary data sources necessitates careful consideration of trade-offs between cost, reliability, and applicability to ensure informed decision-making aligned with your business objectives. Conducting library research for business insights. University libraries are invaluable resources, offering a vast array of information pertinent to business research. Besides an extensive collection of books covering diverse subjects, libraries typically provide access to a multitude of digital resources, including company and industry reports, scholarly journals, and articles from reputable business periodicals such as the Wall Street Journal, Forbes, and Bloomberg Businessweek. These resources can provide insights that might otherwise cost significant sums if purchased independently. Most university libraries subscribe to numerous online databases tailored for business research. Notable examples include EBSCO Business Source Complete, ProQuest, IBISWorld, and Thomson One, among others. Each of these databases features unique tools for accessing valuable information. For instance, EBSCOhost offers extensive search options, while ProQuest includes links to specialized reports covering trends, market research, and SWOT analyses. By utilizing these databases, researchers can access comprehensive information on industries, key success factors, and market benchmarks relevant to their fields of interest. Navigating these resources effectively requires time and effort. It is advisable to spend several weeks familiarizing yourself with the various databases and their offerings. Engaging with a business librarian can greatly enhance your research process, as they can guide you in identifying the databases that align best with your specific needs. Each database features different search functionalities, and mastering these can improve your research outcomes. Utilizing Boolean operators, such as and, or, is a fundamental strategy for refining your searches. For example, if you begin a search on virtual reality and group tours, you might receive an overwhelming 8 million results. However, by employing Boolean logic to search both terms separately and using quotation marks, you can refine the results to a more manageable number, such as 328. Additionally, experimenting with alternative keywords and related concepts can lead to discovering a wider array of useful information. As you conduct searches, many online business databases provide suggestions based on commonly indexed terms or related topics, which can streamline your research process. For instance, when searching for virtual reality in EBSCOhost, the Thesaurus tool may offer multiple index terms that can help you identify effective combinations for further searches. By exploring suggested searches, you can quickly assess which keywords yield the most relevant results and enhance your research strategy. Documenting your research. As you gather secondary research, meticulously documenting your information sources is paramount. Decision makers expect comprehensive documentation because it enables them to gauge the credibility of your report. Given that high-stakes decisions often hinge on the facts, conclusions, and recommendations presented, they need clarity on the origins of the information. Careful tracking of sources throughout the research process ensures efficient and accurate documentation, helping you avoid potential pitfalls during the drafting stage. Many novice writers find themselves retracing their steps to locate sources, which can lead to errors that undermine the report's credibility. To mitigate these issues, experienced writers adopt systematic approaches for recording sources during the research stage. There is no one-size-fits-all solution. Some may prefer word processing software, while others might utilize spreadsheets or databases. The critical factor is creating a system that allows for accurate and efficient source documentation. For instance, some researchers, like Jeff, combine note-taking with source tracking, facilitating better organization of information and enabling rapid documentation when beginning to draft their reports. Utilizing online information for business research. While library databases typically offer reliable information, online searches can also yield valuable insights. However, it is essential to adhere to specific strategies to ensure the quality of data obtained. The Internet presents a vast array of information, but the credibility and accuracy can vary significantly. Therefore, always evaluate the data quality of online sources carefully to avoid relying on uninformed or inaccurate materials. To enhance your online research beyond basic search engines, consider these strategies. Visit reputable websites. Begin your search on well-known business and industry websites. For example, Jeff might explore sources on Bloomberg Businessweek or CNBC.com for relevant articles and updates. Additionally, specific industry sites, such as the United States Tour Operators Association, can provide current information that may not be available in library databases, offering fresh insights into industry trends. Engage with online discussions. Forums and online discussions can reveal what current professionals are saying about relevant topics. Platforms like LinkedIn host groups where professionals share insights and engage in conversations about industry practices. By participating in or observing these discussions, researchers can gain contemporary perspectives that may not be captured in formal publications. Search for multimedia content. Compelling information is increasingly available in video and audio formats. For instance, if Jeff searches for virtual reality in travel, he might uncover a wealth of videos on platforms like YouTube. These resources can offer insights and examples that are particularly useful, such as green meeting practices adopted by hotels. Speeches and presentations found online may also provide unique information not available elsewhere. Be persistent. In an age where information is often expected at a moment's notice, solid business research typically requires persistence. Quick answers are rare. Thus, exploring multiple avenues and approaches can significantly increase the chances of obtaining the necessary data. Applying the FAIR test to your research data and charts. As you conduct research for your reports, it's essential to consistently evaluate your approach to ensure fairness. This includes being mindful of both primary and secondary research methods and considering various perspectives on the facts at hand. A common pitfall for business professionals is entering the research process with pre-existing assumptions or conclusions, which can skew their findings. In primary research, these biases may lead to asking leading questions or misinterpreting data. In secondary research, such assumptions can result in selectively gathering information that only supports existing views, potentially misleading stakeholders. For instance, if a researcher, like Jeff, assumes that developing and marketing green meetings is advantageous for the prestigio, he might unconsciously focus on research that reaffirms this belief while ignoring evidence to the contrary. This selective focus undermines the credibility of his findings and can mislead readers. Another area where researchers might unintentionally misguide their audience is in the presentation of numerical data. To fairly represent data and maintain credibility, there are several important steps to consider. First, it's beneficial to discuss any uncertain data relationships with colleagues to gain diverse insights. Collaborative discussions can help ensure a more balanced representation of the information. It's equally vital to provide enough context and detail for your audience to make informed judgments about the data. Cherry-picking data, showing only the information that supports your argument, is a deceptive practice that can severely undermine credibility. Moreover, distorting data presentation, even when the underlying information is technically correct, can lead to misunderstanding. For instance, charts can be manipulated to exaggerate certain trends or downplay others, misinforming the audience. As you gather, analyze, and present data, make it a priority to include all relevant facts, even if they do not fit neatly into your conclusions. Transparency is key. Granting access to your data builds trust with colleagues and clients, ultimately enhancing your long-term professional credibility. Many organizations prioritize transparency at the institutional level, and as an individual, maintaining this principle can open up numerous career opportunities. When presenting data, consider its potential impact on others. For example, how you present performance data for your colleagues can significantly affect team dynamics, career prospects, and morale. Respectful presentation not only reflects professionalism, but also fosters a cooperative and positive work environment. By applying the FAIR test, ensuring fairness, accuracy, integrity, and respect, you can enhance the quality of your research and strengthen your credibility in the business world.
Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe to channel.